Hi, no, this is not a shoebox. This is Asus transformer book T100G. It comes in a nice looking box, easily opened. However, to pull it out, you need to pull on this tab, and it's much easier just to kick it out. Beneath this, we have one charger. And we have a really short USB cable, so you cannot really say that there is any length to this, maybe meter or something. And we additionally get some paper. And this is not an unboxing. I already unboxed it, already charged it, already played with it. So this is just a first look. Okay, if you disregard short cable, because hopefully you can replace it by any standard USB micro cable, there is issue of charger. Charger, although it looks just as any USB charger, and if you try it with any device, it will function as a normal USB charger. It is everything but. So this charger outputs 5 volts and 9 volts. 5 volts for normal devices and 9 volts if it detects Asus transformer on the other side. Let's compare it with another Asus charger, which follows the same principle, and they are pretty much the same in size. Maybe there are 2 millimeters difference between them. So they pretty much look the same, they are same size, same shape, everything. But this one is for Asus Transformer Prime, TF201. And this one has 5 volts, so everything nice and dandy, and 15 volts as another output. Because they are the same size, same everything, it's really easy to mix them mix two of them together. So I'm not really sure what is going to happen if you put Transformer Book Chi into charger that is Transformer Book Prime, so 15 volts. Maybe nothing, maybe it will detect that it's not the correct device and it will not raise it to 15 volts, or maybe, I don't know, it will explode. Thing is that in best case scenario, it will just charge really slowly, because it will come to the 5 volt mode. And that is really bad. If they wanted to make custom voltages, they should have went just with custom charger like every laptop has, or God forbid use a USB 3.1 Type-C connector, because with USB 3.1 and on Type-C connector you have option of using multiple voltages, and those are standard voltages, and they are going to be 5, 12 and 20. Asus somehow managed to skip both standard voltages, standard higher voltages, 12 and 20 in his products, once with 15 volts, once with 9 volts. So if you go anywhere, just remember to pack your charger and pack correct charger. Oops. As far as Transformer book itself goes, when it comes with a keyboard dock. So one nice thing, if you disengage keyboard dock, and you need to do a bit of force, I would say even that it borders line on uncomfortable force for this one, but connections do look sturdy, so they probably can handle the abuse. So you are going to have one keyboard dock which contains pretty much nothing. So there is nice standard keyboard. It is small in size, but remember this is 10.1 inch screen, and there is not a lot of space for anything. It is reasonable well. It works reasonably well. Thing that I personally don't like is keys page up, page down are reachable only on FN. Same goes for home and end. This keyboard works via Bluetooth. So you can turn it off to save battery, and there is a small battery in this keyboard, and that battery is something that you need to charge separately. So you always need to remember to charge both top part with a tablet itself and keyboard part. Slight annoyance, but it's not really a big issue because battery in this little puppy should last for quite a while, because that keyboard, my feeling is that it will mostly stand unused and off. And on back, nothing except on this side there is a charging port. So here is the charging port, nothing else. Now on to tablet itself. So for tablet, at the bottom we can see two connections for keyboard dock, and you can also see how thin it is. This is one very thin tablet. Materials, I'm not quite sure what this is. My guess is aluminium, maybe a bit of magnesium. Frankly, I haven't checked, but it does feel reasonably good. When you twist it, it is a bit twistable, but nothing too much, so it does feel okay in your hands. On one side there is volume up, volume down. There is a Windows button, because you don't have like on any standard tablet with Windows, like Surface or something else, you would have a Windows key here. Here you don't have it, you have it on side. It's a bad thing when you are working just in tablet mode. You always need to find it, oh, here it is, and click it and so on. However, when you are working in keyboard mode, it doesn't hide the key. On the other hand, the same key does exist on keyboard, so whether it hides it or not shouldn't bear much relevance, but I guess it is a reasonably good decision. Then we have a nice 3.5 millimeter connector and charging port. I haven't tried this one yet. I'm not sure whether this port can serve as USB on the go connection, or this is just for charging. I've used it so far just for charging. On top we have power button. Power button is okay for turning off the screen. To turn on the screen, essentially whichever key you press, even on side, the screen will turn on, which is a really nice thing. So I'm not sure that power button is really needed, but it doesn't hurt, and it's at a reasonably good location, so you don't press it by accident too much. So on top there are openings, I believe, for microphone, and on another side we have micro SD connector and or socket, and you can put your micro SD. It is mostly meant just for temporary placement of micro SD, because once you put it, it will stick for something like 3 or 4 millimeters out, which means if you do anything with a tablet, you have a risk of bending and maybe even damaging your SD card or socket where it lays. So it's good for temporary stuff, but not good for permanent. Next to it we have USB 3.0 micro connector. I must confess that this is very first time that I see this connector actually used on any device. Usually everybody is avoiding this connector as much as possible, except on hard drives. Because of this reason, it's a little bit harder to find it on Amazon. There are just few models with reasonable price. However, hopefully when you connect a hard drive, you are going to get a full speed, and you can always use one part of it, this part, as a normal USB 2.0 connector. So it is kind of compatible with your USB on the go devices. Nice thing is that this is 3.0, and if this one works also as a USB connector in addition to being charging port, that means that you have two USB connections. I will need to check this yet. I have laptop for something like a day, so I haven't really tested all its possibilities. And next to it we have a micro HDMI connector. This is just so you can connect your tablet to your TV. It works nice. It outputs everything to full HD resolution, so it's reasonably good. On back side we see there is camera. I think it's 5 megapixels, so I'm not really sure why they even bothered. I like T100 non-Qi model for their decision to exclude this camera. It helps them bring down the price a bit, and 5 megapixels is pretty much useless. Finish is reasonably good, although it will leave fingerprints if your hands are sweaty even a little. On front we see that there is camera. There is also ambient lighting sensor, and the screen, which is really nice thing, is full HD. So it's not just 130/66 times 768. It's full HD screen, and it has, I don't know, 5-ish, 10-ish, it has 10 finger touch. So if you check quickly, so it does register all 10 fingers. So it's not like on older T100 model where it would register only 5 of them. And glass on it works reasonably well. So maybe on camera you will see my reflection here, but during work reflection is actually not that noticeable. But also during work I tend not to sit next to windows, so it works reasonably well. I don't think it's Gorilla Glass, so you will need to take care of it. Usually on every tablet so far I had Gorilla Glass, and I can vouch for it that it does handle quite a lot. So whether this is some kind of tempered glass, I guess, or maybe they even put Gorilla Glass but didn't advertise it, which I find a bit unlikely. Time will tell how well this works. Edges are nicely defined. There is a little bit of bezel, but you can hardly feel it. That might depend, so I'm not sure how good quality control of this product is. So maybe with some devices it will be a bit higher, with some a bit lower, but on mine it's just right. So when you put it back to mode, compared to T100 original model, which had a proper connection to other side and behaved like USB keyboard, this behaves as a Bluetooth keyboard. What does it mean to have Bluetooth keyboard? First of all, you cannot just simply wake it up by pressing any key, while pressing any key on its own body will work. And, well, not any key, it seems that volume up, volume down is not working for waking up. But even more important thing is that during boot process, you cannot use this Bluetooth keyboard. If you want to intervene in boot process, let's say to upgrade Windows 8.1 to Windows 10 or something like that, you will need to have an external keyboard. And how to connect it with USB on the go. All in all, this is quite nice laptop tablet. It's very hard to say where it belongs. It is primarily a tablet, but with OS that's more suitable for laptop use, because OS Windows 8.1 is not really comfortable if you use it just as a tablet. I have high hopes with Windows 10 improving on that. However, as far as power, as far as battery goes, this is one really nice device, and I look forward to using it next couple of weeks, and then making another video to show you lessons learned.